The MLB season is officially underway. Now let's make some of our division predictions for this year. In the AL East, at number 5, give me the Tampa Bay Rays. They haven't made that many good additions this year, and while they have a good pitching staff, their offense is terrible as they've traded away their star players in Randy Arozarena and Isaac Paredes. I don't see them doing anything good next year. At number 4, give me the Toronto Blue Jays. While they were bad last year, I think they made some good additions in Anthony Santander, Max Scherzer, and Andres Jimenez, which will give them a boost. However, their division is super good, and I don't see them moving past fourth. At number 3, give me the Orioles. While the Orioles have a great young core in Adley Rutschman, Jackson Holliday, and Colton Cowser, I think the other teams in the division have accelerated and gotten way better at a faster rate than the Orioles. They're supposed to be that young team that's supposed to take the next step, but this offseason, they haven't showed me that they've done it. At number 2, the Boston Red Sox. They had one of the best off seasons throughout every major league team. By signing Garrett Crochet, Alex Bregman, Walker Buehler, if he stays healthy, will be a great addition, and Aroldis Chapman, among others. I think they can be a great team and make a lot of noise this year. And at number 1, obviously, it's the New York Yankees. They have a stacked roster already. Even though they lost Juan Soto, they still gained like Max Fried, Devin Williams, and Paul Goldschmidt. And I don't think they're taking a step back this year. In fact, they might even take a step forward. In the AL Central, coming in dead last, we have the Chicago White Sox. Do we really need to explain this one? Coming off a historically bad 43-win season, they've done little to nothing to improve their roster at all. They're still going to stay last this year. At number 4, we got the Minnesota Twins. Last year, they were the definition of mediocre, and their ownership barely supports the team itself. They're not going anywhere this year. At number 3, we got the Kansas City Royals. Yes, they have a good young core. We love Bobby Witt Jr. We love Salvador Perez. However, the rest of their offense lacks a lot, and they still haven't done that much to improve. I think they're going to take a step back this season and cede their second place spot that they earned last year to the Detroit Tigers. I think the Detroit Tigers surprised absolutely everybody this season, especially by beating the Astros in the postseason, who are perennial ALCS contenders. And I love their young core in Riley Green, Matt Vierling, Kerry Carpenter. I think they're going to have a great season this year. And lastly, number 1 is obviously the Cleveland Guardians. They play in a completely uncompetitive division, and they have a great roster compared to the rest of the people in the division. They brought in some good names such as Carlos Santana to replace Josh Naylor, and even added Paul Sewald, a great relief pitcher. AL West. Coming in last, we have the Los Angeles Angels. Last year, they're one of the most dysfunctional teams to watch. Mike Trout was injured. They really don't have that much talent outside of Mike Trout, Taylor Ward, maybe even Kenley Jansen. Like, they're really not that good. At number 4, give me the Oakland Athletics. They have a good core in Shea Langeliers. I like Brent Rooker. I like Mason Miller. However, their team has a lot of gaping holes, and I don't think they're going to move past fourth this year. Coming in third, we have the Seattle Mariners. I think they have a great team. However, they got second place because the Rangers dealt with a lot of injuries last year. And I think the Seattle Mariners, if the Rangers are at full health, I think that they can beat the Seattle Mariners. Coming in at number 2, I hinted at this before, it's the Texas Rangers. They have a great roster and I have a lot of respect for them. I think they can make a lot of noise going into the postseason and contend with the number 1 Houston Astros. We're still staying on top of the division. Every year they've doubted us. Every year they said we'd regress. Except what happens every year? We come out on top. We're going to win this division again. We're finally in the National League, and let's take a look at the NL East today. Coming in last, we have the Miami Marlins. They were absolutely horrendous last year, and they haven't done much in the offseason at all to help that cause. They lost Jazz Chisholm last year, and they even traded away Jesus Luzardo this year. I don't think they're going to be a force at all in this NL East. Coming in fourth, we have the Washington Nationals. I really like what they did this offseason. They added some key players such as Nate Lowe. They added Josh Bell and Ahmed Rosario, which I really like. I think their rebuild is at a strong pace right now, except they still won't be able to compete with the top dogs in the division. At number 3, give me the Atlanta Braves. Had a subpar offseason. They signed Jurickson Profar, which was good at the time, but now he's suspended for PED use. They even lost Max Fried. That starting rotation is looking extremely thin, and they're off to a slow start this year, but I'm not taking into account for that. And number two, give me the New York Mets. They had an amazing offseason, signed Juan Soto, kept P. Alonso, signed Clay Holmes. Then they got Sean Manaea, Frankie Montez, Jesse Winker. What a great offseason for the New York Mets. Unfortunately, the Mets are going to Met. They're still going to be second place because at number one, we still have the Philadelphia Phillies. I still think they have the best roster. And they even added Jesus Luzardo, Jordan Romano, Max Kepler. And I really like these additions for the Phillies. They got even better. And I think they're going to stay on top this year. Let's predict the division standings for the NL Central. This year, the Pittsburgh Pirates will still be coming in last. While they signed some good names such as Tommy Pham and Adam Frazier, I still don't think they've done nearly enough to get past the last place. In at fourth place is the St. Louis Cardinals. They have a struggling Nolan Arenado on their team, and they signed literally nobody this offseason. Several notable key players such as Paul Goldschmidt even left the team, and the St. Louis Cardinals are going to drop all the way down this year. At third place is the Cincinnati Reds. I like what they're building in their young core with Ellie De La Cruz, Christian Encarnacion Strand, and Nick Lodolo, among others. They signed some good names this offseason, including Brady Singer, Austin Hayes, Gavin Lux, and Taylor Rogers. They did make a good step up this season, but I don't think it'll be enough to compete with the rest of the division. In second place, it's the former division champions Milwaukee Brewers. They didn't really have a productive offseason, signed Nestor Cortez, really no one else notable. And they still have a great roster, though, which is why I think they'll be in second place this year. And at first place is the Chicago Cubs. Wow, what an offseason. Signed Kyle Tucker, Ryan Presley, Carson Kelly, and Caleb Thielbar. I really like what they're building there in Chicago, especially already having people like Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Dansby Swanson, Shota Imanaga, Pete Crow Armstrong. They're a force to be reckoned with in the NL Central. Let's predict the division standings for the National League West. In last place, it's the Colorado Rockies. Lost 100 games last season and didn't do anything productive this offseason. They're still going to be bad this year. In fourth place, the San Francisco Giants. They signed Willy Adames. They signed Justin Verlander. However, it's not enough, and it's going to be really hard for them to compete with the rest of the division, even with some good players coming in. In third place, the Arizona Diamondbacks just barely missed out on the playoffs last year. They have a great young core with Corbin Carroll, Ketel Marte, Zach Gallen. I really like those guys, and they even brought in Corbin Burns, Josh Naylor. However, their roster just isn't nearly as good as the San Diego Padres. While they had a mediocre offseason, I think their roster is still way above the rest of the division, excluding the Dodgers. They have Fernando Tatis, recently extended Jackson Merrill. They have a great team altogether. However, they're still not going to be able to beat the Los Angeles Dodgers, who had an unbeatable offseason. Along with their outstanding roster, they even signed Blake Snell, Teoscar Hernandez, and Roki Sasaki. They might even win 120 games this year. It's just unfair. And that wraps it up for all of our MLB predictions this year. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please leave a like. Comment what your predictions are. Check out the rest of our videos in our profile. Check out our TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Please make sure you're followed and subscribed to all those accounts so you don't miss any videos. Thank you so much.